Hello, my name is Karen Owen, and I'm the Director of the Longview Metropolitan Planning Organization. Welcome to our open house meeting tonight, and thank you for your interest in transportation. We'll begin with the presentation, and then what we'll do is we'll have the open house, kind of an interactive session that will follow, where we'll ask you for your input using a variety of maps and displays that we have here. To start off, let me introduce our transportation planning team. We have Brett Huntsman with the Longview MPO. We have assisting the MPO are Rob Ray with Kimley Horn & Associates and Chelsea Cooper with Kimley Horn as well. Their firm is working with the MPO, and they specialize in transportation planning. It's been said that better communities are built by involving in people in the things that they care about. So if you care about our community and transportation, as many of you are here tonight, we appreciate that, and we want you to get involved in the process as we plan for the future transportation network in the greater Longview area. Our goal is to build a better community in by designing a transportation system that will meet the needs of the future growth of our area. In the world of transportation planning, we have planning documents which serve as roadmaps to guide our future. The two primary long-range transportation planning documents are the Metropolitan Transportation Plan and the MPO Area Thoroughfare Plan, and these are the focus of our open house meeting. I'll cover the Metropolitan Transportation Plan, and Rob Ray and Chelsea Cooper will go over the Thoroughfare Plan. You may be wondering what part of the greater Longview area I'm referring to and what are we responsible for in terms of transportation planning. The green and the gold shading on this map shows the extent of the MPO's planning area. The MPO planning area consists of the cities of Longview, Lakeport, White Oak, Clarksville City, Warren City, Gladewater, Union Grove, and East Mountain. Guided by a Transportation Policy Board, the Longview MPO is responsible for transportation planning of federal and state-funded transportation projects. With input from the public, the MPO identifies the area's transportation priorities and collaborates with the Texas Department of Transportation and the member cities on how the federal highway and transit funds are used. So what is a Metropolitan Transportation Plan? Well, basically, the MTP is a strategy to address the needs of the transportation of the area for the next 25 years. It's a multimodal plan, and it covers these areas. It covers streets and highways, bridges, bicycle and pedestrian needs, public transportation, and it has a component for traffic operations, and of course, to maintain our infrastructure in terms of pavement maintenance. The MTP identifies specific transportation projects and federally funded highway and transit projects. Projects must be financially constrained based on what we reasonably expect to receive in future funding. And the MTP is updated every 5 years. So this is the year that we're looking at updating our plan. Our success as a region depends on a well-designed long-term transportation plan and the implementation of that plan. So here's where you can get involved. We've created a transportation survey designed to help answer important questions regarding the future of transportation. So we want to know what mobility projects are most important to you. What areas do you avoid because of congestion or safety concerns? Those things. So as I mentioned earlier, we want to hear from the citizens in the greater Longview area. So we developed a survey designed to help us answer important questions regarding the future of transportation. The survey takes about 5 minutes to fill out, and it's pretty easy. We've got some laptops here tonight for the open house for those. Those of you that are watching this broadcast, if you'll go to longviewmpo.com, you can access the survey. If you don't have access to the internet, if you will call 903-237-1062, our office will mail a survey to you to fill that out. Now I'm going to turn it over to Rob Ray with Kimley Horn Associates to highlight the Thoroughfare Plan. Rob?
Thanks, Karen. It's good to be with you tonight. And as Karen mentioned, along with the MTP, or the Metropolitan Transportation Plan, our firm has been tasked with helping develop a regional thoroughfare plan for the region. And before we get started on the exercise portion and getting feedback from you all tonight, we'd like to just quickly talk about what a thoroughfare plan and what its role is for the region. The Thoroughfare Plan is based on growth changes in the region. So as the region grows in population and employment, you'll see that the demand on your transportation network will change as well. It's an update that happens roughly every 5 to 10 years, and this is because every 5 to 10 years we get new information on what the growth will be like. The main focus of the Thoroughfare Plan is to determine alignments of future roads, preserve right-of-way for either new roads or widening, and to determine design guidelines for these new roadways and existing roadways. So as mentioned, we look at demographics or growth in the region, and in the next 25 years, the Longview region is expected to grow by over 30,000 people and roughly 12,000 employees in the region in 25 years. That's not a small number. What that means is that each household generates approximately 10 trips a day, and those trips contribute to about 120,000 daily trips in the region. We need to try and figure out how to accommodate those trips as time goes on and as we grow out to 25 years. We do that based on a geographical analysis using some technical software, but we do that to try to estimate where the growth is going and to try to plan for the roads in the future. There's two distinct differences between an MPO, Metropolitan Transportation Plan, or an MTP, and a Thoroughfare Plan. The MTP looks at financial projects, financially constrained projects. It prioritizes them based on funding sources through TxDOT and FHWA, and it looks at a wide range of modes, not just automobile, but transit, bicycle, pedestrian, freight, and other factors. On the Thoroughfare Plan side, the main focus of the Thoroughfare Plan is to determine the alignment, to preserve the right-of-way, and to set design standards. There are many components of the roadway that we look at when we're completing a Thoroughfare Plan. There's the travel way, which can consist of travel lanes, bike lanes, parking. There's the street side, which, depending on the context of the street, involves sidewalks, landscape buffers, trees, sidewalks, and even park benches. And then there's the context. How does the context factor in the surrounding areas around that roadway? I'm going to turn it over to Chelsea Cooper to talk about complete streets and another element of the Thoroughfare Plan. Chelsea?
Thanks, Rob. So digging a little deeper, as you're talking about, the Thoroughfare Plan is a little bit higher scale, and one of the things that we like to do is to really dig down and look at each street individually, the characteristics of the street, and as Rob was saying, the context on either side, which includes what type of development, whether it's rural or commercial, and going off of that. A little bit further, complete streets is a new paradigm shift that's coming. It's gaining a lot of momentum around the nation, and this is the idea that more than just the automobile needs to be considered when designing a street. Looking forward to transit, bicycle, pedestrian, and additional things such as landscaping, median. These are all factors that are now being considered in more detail when looking at a street. Moving forward for this, as you can see behind me, we have quite a few toolboxes, and these are a lot of the tools that we use when developing complete streets. Look at them and individually, the corridor from one limit to another, determine what is most useful, what's most practical, and what is needed along the corridor. So tonight we're also going to talk about this workshop that we have set up. We are going to have these maps around the table. Let me click forward one real fast. So we'll have these maps around that you'll be able to come to, look at, write comments on. We want your comments. We want it down on documents so that we can look at it and take it back and evaluate it further. We will have these pins up at the table. We'll have green, which is for bicycle and pedestrian networks, blue for transit, which means bus routes, and then red for highways, roadways, any other street edits that you want to look at. And what we want you to do is look at the areas and let us know what are areas of opportunities where you think things can happen that we can do better, or areas where we have a lot of issues, a lot of constraints, and we can go from that and use this. We're going to take this back with us and use this to evaluate the area further. We also have around the board Post-it boards, and this is for just any general comments that you'll have that apply to the whole area if you don't have anything specific that you want to talk about for a corridor. And so once again, we have the survey set up around the room. We'll have these laptops up here where you can complete the survey online, or if you prefer, we do have a few handouts, hard copies to look at with that. And so as I was mentioning earlier, our next steps, we're taking all this feedback. We've already met with the technical committee to get their input on this, and so now it's the time for the public. We'll take the input from tonight, along with all the stuff that we're getting back from the surveys, and take this forward as we're developing the Thoroughfare Plan recommendations. And we're projecting to have this completed by the fall, so in the next few months, we're gaining a lot of momentum and trying to wrap this up soon. Okay.
Thank you, Chelsea. I just want to remind everyone that we do have a survey that's out online, and I went ahead and put the slide up to show the website as well. We encourage you to fill out the survey and give us your feedback. It only takes about 5 minutes to fill out. There's about 12 survey questions in it, and it's designed with you in mind and designed in terms of what we'd like to know from you in terms of your concerns and the issues that you think that we have in this community. So for those of you that, once again, that don't have access to the internet, of course, if you're watching this as a rebroadcast, you obviously do, but those in the public today, please call our office and a survey will be mailed to you. I'm also going to show you a slide that has my contact information. Some of you that are watching this during the rebroadcast that didn't have an opportunity to come in person and give us comments, please contact us. I've got my phone number on the slide. You can email me your concerns as well, because we do want to hear from you. Your comments are going to make a better community for us. So with that wraps up our presentation. And if you have any questions, we'll be available to answer those. And we appreciate your attendance, especially for your interest in transportation. Thank you so much.